Salt sensitivity is one of the main factors that affect people with high blood pressure. And the reason for high blood pressure can be one of two reasons. One could be due to lifestyle, and the second could be due to its hereditary nature. In other words, genes that were passed to you from your parents, either one of them or both of them. Today, we're going to look at salt sensitivity. And salt sensitivity is a known factor for high blood pressure. There are two genes that could be responsible for salt sensitivity. The first one is the ACE gene, also known as angiotensin converting enzyme gene, or the AGT gene, which is also known as the angiotensinogen gene. So within this gene, there are various genotypes. In other words, there are various genetic variations for those genes, and that genetic variation will determine whether you have a salt sensitivity. So for myself, for both the ACE and the AGT gene, I have two genotypes for both genes that results in a high impact for salt sensitivity for me. So let's look at what is a genetic variation. So a genetic variation refers to the differences in DNA sequences between individuals within a species. For humans, when we look at the ACE gene, for example, the genetic variation could be I or D. And as you can see here, I have the double I genotype, and that double I results in a high impact for me when it comes to salt sensitivity. I also have the genotype CC, which also results in an high impact when it comes to salt sensitivity. So if you know that you have high blood pressure as a result of hereditary, in other words, it was handed down to you through either one or both of your parents, then there are steps that you can take to manage your salt intake. So first of all, if you suffer from high blood pressure, it is essential that you severely restrict salt and all sodium-rich foods. Instead, it's better to flavor your foods using herbs and spices. And a lot of herbs and spices that we have available to us today are really beneficial in lowering our blood pressure. So what you can do is avoid adding extra salt to your food. Avoid eating processed meats, because most processed meats, if not all, do have a lot of salt content in it. The other thing you can do is decrease the intake of high sodium condiments and avoid as much as possible ready-made meals and fast foods. So meals that you prepare at home are better because you have control in terms of what goes into it. So taking a look at the salt sensitivity genes, the ACE codes for the angiotensin converting enzyme and is part of the renin angiotensin system, which controls blood pressure by regulating the volume of fluids in the body. Now, I have the II genotype, and study shows that patients with essential hypertension homozygous for the insertion of allele of the ACE gene had a significantly high blood pressure increase with high salt intake compared to DD individuals. So that means because I have the II genotype, I have a far higher risk compared to somebody who has the DD genotype. So looking at the AGT, the angiotensinogen is expressed in tissues involved in blood pressure regulation, such as kidneys, adrenals, and brain. Increased angiotensinogen levels correlate with increased blood pressure. The gene also influences salt sensitivity of blood pressure. So that means that because I carry the CC genotype, I am at a higher risk of increased blood pressure. However, the incidence of hypertension was found to be significantly lower among these individuals who reduced sodium intake. So that's one of the things that I said in my previous videos when it comes to your genes and hypertension. The fact that you have hypertension as a result of it being hereditary does not mean that you cannot influence the way that your genes behave. So reducing the amount of salt significantly helps to lower your blood pressure. The question is your blood pressure as a result of lifestyle or is it hereditary? If it's hereditary, then you can actually take steps to influence the way your genes respond to salt intake. You have control over it. You are not determined by fate as to how you take control over your blood pressure. And if your blood pressure is due to lifestyle, then take the necessary steps to lose weight, eat healthier, and you will be amazed how much your blood pressure will drop. So if you want to know more about foods that can help you lower your blood pressure, why not click on the screen that is coming up, and I'll see you in the next video.